What's up, guys? It's Storm here, back with another video, and today we're gonna talk about the reason why I think most people quit in general. Now, personally, when I look back on my experiences in life and all the opportunities that I've had to do something big, and then all the times where I decided to quit on doing those things, there's one thing that all the times I decided to quit, there's one thing that they had in common, and it was that I didn't have a big enough reason why. So, I guess if we look at, the first couple times that I tried to start going to the gym, and, I would go for 3 weeks here, 2 weeks here, take, 2 or 3 weeks off, dilly daddle around. At that point, my reason for going to the gym was to look a certain way, to get a six pack, whatever the reason was at the time. It wasn't really a big enough reason why, right? I think the reason why, the big why that really changed things for me was when I decided to dedicate my life to my own personal health. And when I did that, the reason why to go to the gym became very simple. You can't maximize your own health if you don't force your body to grow. And it's plain and simple. There's actually a number of genes that don't get expressed unless you put the body underneath a certain amount of stress, physical stress, I should say. So in order to push myself to my genetic potential, in order to have the best health possible, I was forced to take the gym seriously, take my diet seriously, take all aspects of it seriously, and that made it very easy to stick with it. Now, since I started going to the gym about a year and a half ago, I've gone pretty consistently ever since. At least 3 days a week. There would be weeks here and there where I would take a week off just to really rest, really recover, really reassess all my goals. But I never took an extended break or an extended time away from the gym for any reason. Even if I were to go on vacation or do something of those sorts, I would still find something to do to get at least 3 days worth of work and progress in. Now, when I think about a lot of people who go to the gym, a lot of people, like I did when I first started, really are just going to lose a couple pounds, maybe to lose the winter weight from the holiday season. Maybe they're just going to fit back into that favorite pair of jeans that they have. And really, that's not a big enough reason, right? That's not a big enough reason why. And it's unfortunate a lot of people don't really have that experience that really generates a big reason why. A lot of people have to experience an intense amount of pain before they actually decide enough is enough. Here's where I draw the line, right? It took a number of those for me. I mean, a couple of ripped pairs of pants, straight, like a couple of ripped pairs of pants, not being able to sit comfortably for an extended period of time, having lower back pain, having high blood pressure, having a whole host of other minor health issues, all culminated in enough pain where I decided enough is enough. I'm going to dedicate my life to my health. And when I did that, everything fell into place. Everything became easy, right? I used to have a cigarette habit. I used to smoke about a pack of cigarettes per week. When I dedicated my life to my health, when I decided to put my health as my number one priority above all else, above my job, above my relationships, above literally everything else, quitting cigarettes became very easy, right? Replacing cigarettes with something that was more beneficial to me, like for example yoga, was super simple, right? And every so often, I would have a cigarette here or there, just to remind myself why I quit in the first place. And every cigarette I had after I quit, the next day you'd feel it. The next day you'd feel the pain. You'd feel the difference in your lungs. You'd feel the lack of space, the lack of expansion, the lack of airflow. And small little situations and small little experiences like that are really what make a change stick, right? And make you stick with the change. So yeah, I think the biggest reason why a lot of people do quit is because they don't have a big enough reason why. Trying to fit back into a favorite pair of pants is not a big enough reason why. A big reason why is someone who's, for example, someone who has a heart attack because they're severely overweight, and they realize they want to be around for their kids, to watch their kids grow up, and for their family, right? That's a big enough reason why. That's a reason why that makes making a change very, very easy, right? Someone who, say, has been skinny their whole life and picked on their whole life, and eventually decides that enough is enough, and it's time to make a change. And so they decide to start dieting properly, start eating enough, start going to the gym, start to grow their body, start to build strength, right? Someone who feels weak, right? For me, that's what it was. For me, ultimately, it was feeling weak, feeling like my body was literally degrading at the age of 22, right? At the age of 22, you shouldn't have chronic lower back pain. You shouldn't have chronic wrist pain. You shouldn't have, borderline gingivitis. You shouldn't have high blood pressure. You shouldn't have all these issues that come with poor diet and lack of physical activity. Yet I had most of those things. So because of those things, right, because of those painful experiences, making a change was easy. So here's my recommendation. If you're trying to make a change and you don't have a big enough reason why, you need to find a way to get leverage on yourself, right? You need to find a way to make a commitment and stick with it. Now, whether that's really thinking about what you want for your life long term, really thinking about your goals, really thinking about what's important to you, and really figuring out how achieving a certain physique or achieving a certain goal weight is going to help you with those goals, right? For me, I guess putting my health first, putting my health as a priority over money, over relationships, over all of those other things, for me it was easy because I knew that if my health was improved, if my health was no longer an issue, all of those other things would fix themselves. All of those other, you'd have, for example, right? If you're working 40 hours a week and your job is requiring you to, add an extra 20 hours to make some extra money, right? Having the extra energy is going to be very important for that. So being at a better level of health is going to ultimately help you to put in that extra 20 hours to make the extra money that you need to make, right? So ultimately, you really got to figure out what's the most important thing to you. And once you figure that out, once you figure out what your real priorities are and where your priorities need to be, you can make it very, very simple to actually make a change. So that's, I guess that's a short little video on what I think kind of gets in the way of people making a change. It really just comes down to not having a big enough reason why. And once your reason why gets bigger, right, then the amount of power, the amount of force, the amount of willpower that you have to get that done increases tenfold. So if you're having trouble finding a reason why, just ask yourself, bring up a goal that you have and ask yourself, why do I want this? Right? Then once you get that answer, ask yourself, well, why? And then keep asking yourself why until you hit that aha moment where you realize, that is the reason why. So for example, right, I want to get in shape. Why? Because I don't like how I feel in my current body. Why? Because I feel weak, I feel slow, I feel sick all the time. Why? Because why is that important, right? Because since I feel weak, since I feel slow, I can't do some of the things that I want to do. Well, why are those important? Well, those are important to me because I care about my family, I care about being able to travel, I care about being able to live my life to the fullest. Well, why do you care about that? Because life is short. And there's only so much time that we have on this planet in this life, right? So I want to get into shape because life is short and we don't have that much time, right? I want to get into shape today because life is short. And trust me, the easiest time to do it, the easiest time to do something is right now, right? The longer you wait, the harder it gets, right? I know a lot of people who say, I'm not going to worry about getting into shape now while I'm in college. I'll just worry about that, when I have more time. You're never going to have more time than you have right now. Trust me. Working a 40 to 60 hour a week job is not more time than you have right now. Even, I don't care how many classes, I don't care if you're taking 5 credits, 6 credits, it doesn't really matter. You're never going to have more time than you have right now. So do today what others won't, so that you can do tomorrow what others can't. That's it for this video. Until next time, secure them gains. You know what it is.